Libyan rebel leaders have announced measures to tackle shortages of basic goods in Tripoli. They're promising to distribute fuel, water and medical supplies. And there's more evidence emerging of atrocities carried out during the fighting. More than 50 charred bodies have been found in a burnt-out warehouse next to a military base south of Tripoli. Here's our World Affairs editor, John Simpson.
Tripoli still hasn't recovered from the ordeal of its revolution. Scarcely any shops are open. There's little or no electricity and no running water. Bottled water is all there is, it's expensive and it gets used up fast. Supporters of Colonel Gaddafi still control the water supply from the far south, and they've cut it off. The UN's other big anxiety is for fuel. In Tripoli, supplies are running out fast and it's costing more and more. This is a new era, yet things don't always seem to be much better. We've come to see what happened to Colonel Gaddafi's famous women bodyguards.
So here we are, the military academy for women, and there's a couple of women firing rifles on either side, and a woman's head right at the top.
With his usual combination of absurdity and clever PR, Colonel Gaddafi surrounded himself with a corps of women guards. They swore an oath to defend him to the death. Only they didn't, of course. They ran for it. Directly the rebels took Tripoli. Now their barracks have been taken over by the rebels, who for some reason didn't want us to be here. And when we didn't leave, the commander went off to get a gun. Then he fired again, getting more and more threatening. The rebels don't usually behave like this. It was just like the bad old days. Mostly, though, the rebels actively want to show us the crimes and abuses of the past. We went to Tripoli airport to see Colonel Gaddafi's famous private aircraft, a gigantic Airbus 340, immensely expensive and, as I found, almost ludicrously luxurious inside.
This is the bedroom.
Colonel Gaddafi slept in a large and very comfortable double bed, and his private bathroom included a decent-sized jacuzzi. So the man who gave the impression he lived like a poor desert Bedouin, in fact, travelled the world like the richest of billionaires. John Simpson, BBC News, Tripoli.
Battles between rebels and the remaining supporters of Colonel Gaddafi have been continuing outside Tripoli. Ola Guerin has been following one of the rebel convoys.
Savouring their latest victory, rebels in control in Qasr bin Gashir, a small town at the edge of Tripoli's international airport. Freedom was just a few hours old.
Well, the celebrations are continuing in this area. People have been coming out onto the street. They say there was heavy fighting here until 6 in the morning. There have been 4 days of battles, but now, finally, they are free.
And every face told a story. Now their hate could be voiced, along with their joy.
Where? Gaddafi, where? Dead to Gaddafi, go to hell, Gaddafi.
But nearby, at the airport, the worried faces of defeat. Gaddafi loyalists rounded up by the rebels in recent days. Can you tell me why you were fighting?
Fighting? I'm not fighting.
But the rebels challenge him. You were found with a Kalashnikov, they say, and a fighter's ID. Abdul Razik told us he followed orders in the army. If I didn't, they could come and take away my children, he said. But the message from the rebels was forgiveness, not retribution. These men were free to go, because this is a special night in the Muslim calendar. A night of blessings and peace. There were other new arrivals. More suspected Gaddafi loyalists had just been rounded up. The rebels say hundreds of men fought near the airport. Tonight the fighters can go free, but not the killers. Orla Guerin, BBC News, Tripoli.